What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, Season 8, Episode 12, Pornocchio. So let's get started with Gino and Jasmine. So they're on their way to Gino's family reunion. Before they get to the reunion, they stop by this restaurant or deli type place to pick up food for the reunion. And while they're there waiting for the food to get prepared, they start talking about their issues. So last week they had this really big argument where Jasmine was complaining about Gino controlling her. She was saying that he's trying to take advantage of the fact that she's not able to work, she's not able to drive, and so he kind of like keeps her caged in, and everything has to go according to Gino's time, according to what Gino wants to do, and that she has no say so in anything. The prime example was when she was working out in the gym. She wasn't done with her workout, but Gino wanted to hurry up and come back home, so she had to cut her workout short. So these are the things that she's talking about, that Gino is how Gino is controlling. So they're at this restaurant waiting for the food to get ready, and Gino basically tells her, look, we're about to see my family for this family reunion, and I need you to act right. Okay, I need you to fix your face. I need you to act right, act like everything is wonderful and happy between us, because I don't want my family to get any indication that we're having problems. So Jasmine tells him, well, if you want me to act right, then you need to apologize for how you treated me. And he was like, no, I'm not going to apologize. If anything, you need to apologize to me for how you treated me. So this is where she goes back to talking about how he's really controlling. So neither one of them apologizes to the other. They get to the family reunion, and Jasmine tells us that she's only there for Uncle Marcos. She is not there for Gino. She's not there to make him happy. She's only there for Uncle Marcos. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, I thought when Gino and Jasmine first started, I could have sworn that Uncle Marcos was one of the people that spoke negatively about Gino's relationship with Jasmine and was trying to convince Gino in the very beginning that she's only using you for a green card. That's what I I could be wrong, but I think Uncle Marcos was not a supporter of Jasmine and Gino. So as they're sitting there eating, the primary members of the family are there sitting there with them, which is Gino's cousin. I forgot his cousin. Is it Dana? Cousin Dana or cousin Dane? His wife Michelle, Uncle Marco. So the people that we've seen periodically throughout the show. They're sitting there eating, and Jasmine brings up how they had a really good time in Florida, and while they were down in Florida, she has signed up for a beauty pageant, but Gino told her that she couldn't participate. And Gina was like, hold on, Jasmine. I did not say that you could not participate. What I said was I needed to get the money together for the pageant fees. And so then the family asks Gina, well, how much are these pageant fees? And Gino says they're about $1,200. And so they're looking at him like, you couldn't pay $1,200 for your wife to participate in a pageant. You know, you have all that money saved up in his 401k and his investments and all this other stuff. He couldn't get $1,200 together for her pageant fees. So Jasmine then brings up how controlling Gino is. And she talks about the gym and how he had cut her workout short. And the family was like, Gino, that was wrong for you to do that. You know, she wanted to still work out. You know, that's important for her. She's always been, I guess, a person who worked out a lot. You knew this going into this relationship. So it's wrong that you don't let her work out for however long she wants to. And Gino's like, well, it's a lot for me to be driving back and forth, you know, to the gym. And the family's like, but Gino, you quit your job specifically for this. You said that you didn't want to work anymore because you wanted to spend all this time with Jasmine, do all these things for Jasmine and with Jasmine, and now you're complaining about it. So no bueno. You have to do these type of things. This is what you quit your job for. So stop complaining. His cousin's wife, Michelle, she was like, Gino, the only thing that Gino wants to do is play fantasy football. And this is something that Jasmine has brought up. So I totally believe that Gino really quit his job to play fantasy football. It had nothing to do with spending time with Jasmine. So the family was basically on Jasmine's side. They're like, you need to do these things for her. She can't do these things on her own. So stop complaining. So then Gino brings up the intimacy issues that they've been having. And he says that he cannot be intimate with her because she's always yelling at him and they're always fighting and she's always insulting him and putting him down, which makes it hard for him to perform. And the cousins, so Jasmine wants to point out that it was not me that brought up our intimacy issues. It was Gino that brought them up. And Jasmine said that if she really wanted to, she could really tell them what their real issues are that they're having in the bedroom, and it would totally embarrass Gino. And I was like, girl, do tell. Do tell. So she makes it seem like there's like something like really wrong with Gino, or he's into some seriously weird stuff. So I couldn't wait for her to eventually tell us exactly what the real issues were, because according to Jasmine, the issues are not about them arguing and her insulting him and putting him down. She's making it seem like whatever's going on with Gino in the bedroom is like a whole nother can of worms, that if she were to reveal it, it would absolutely destroy Jasmine. I mean, absolutely destroy Gino. So they get home after the reunion. And Jasmine was like, I had a really great time at the reunion. I had a fun time because, everybody agreed with her. Everybody was on her side when she was complaining about Gino. And and Gino was like, well, I didn't. His whole family was against him. And Jasmine says, well, you're just upset because now your family can see exactly, how you really are. I revealed the truth about Gino. I exposed you. So now they see exactly how you are. So he says that she was the one that brought up the intimacy issues, because he says that he had to, I guess, like defend himself in a way when she was talking about how controlling he is and how he's not that great of a husband. He felt the need to say, well, because of you saying these things about me, this is why I can't perform. So he thinks that with her complaining about him, forced him to talk about the intimacy issues. And so he blames her for the fact that the intimacy issues even came up. She, of course, is like, no, you brought that up completely on your own. It wasn't my fault. I didn't bring that up. You're the one that opened up, that whole entire issue of why you can't perform in the bedroom. I had nothing to do with that coming up in front of your family. So Jasmine then tells us that Gino has absolutely no desire to be with her intimately. And she says it's because he's addicted to porn. And I was like, wah, wah. Really, girl? Okay. She says that whenever they would get together, whenever they would be together, like when she was still living in Panama, she would say, she tells us that, we were having this long distance relationship. So you would think that when he would come visit me, that it would be on and popping. But instead, right before we would be intimate, I would come into the room and he would have been like, oh, I'm already done because, I've already self pleasured myself. So I'm good. And it was because he was watching adult films or adult material. And this is what was helping him get to where he needed to get. So he had no use for Jasmine. And she says this would make her feel undesired, unwanted, unattractive, because he would rather look at the adult films than do anything with her. And this was the big exposure. This was the thing that she says was going to destroy him. The fact that he is addicted to pornography. And I'm just like, okay, so like that's like half the people in America. Like, girl, okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that, because both Jasmine and Gino, they don't know anything about the truth. So I don't know who the hell to believe. So I really don't care. If that's all she gave us. She started off by saying, you need to, what did she say? Stop putting makeup on our issues. When she said the word makeup, at first I thought she said something about him wearing makeup. So I was like, oh, what's going on here? I thought she was trying to imply that he likes to wear makeup and maybe he had a thing for putting on women's clothes. But no, it wasn't that at all. She was just using that as a metaphor or whatever to be like, we need to take the makeup off of our issues and talk about the issues. And so she tells him, you can't perform because you're addicted to pornography. He was like, no, I'm not. I'm not addicted to pornography. So they were arguing about that. They went back and forth on that. And he was like, my issues is the fact that you insult me, you put me down. And so, yeah, that's why I can't perform. I don't know. And I really don't care. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows that in real time, it seems like Jasmine and Gino have broken up in real time. They're no longer living together, allegedly. And also there's a speculation that she has a new boyfriend and this new boyfriend is like 10 years younger than her. And so it seems like she's constantly bringing up these issues of control and these issues of intimacy problems as a foundation to build a case for maybe a divorce so she can leave Gino and go be with who she really wants to be with. I'm assuming so. I'm assuming that's what's going on. I don't know, y'all. I don't know, but I was seriously let down when she finally exposed Gino's real intimacy issues. Let's move on to Patrick and Thais. So it is the day after John has arrived in Brazil, and Patrick and John, excuse me, Thais and John are going back and forth about John eating her birthday cake and him not washing dishes. So after that, they go to, they're on their way to Patrick's father's ranch, Jose. So they're going to Jose's ranch to check it out because they're planning on having their daughter's first birthday party at Jose's ranch. And because they're using Jose's ranch, Thais is worried that Jose will make Patrick do a lot of hard labor or maybe even charge him for using his property for the baby's birthday party. And John feels the same way. John tells Patrick, you know, your dad's going to make you do a whole bunch of work or whatever. He's going to make you pay for using his land or his property for the birthday party. So they get to Jose's ranch. They're not even there a full 5 minutes before Jose tries to put Patrick to work. So he's pointing out all the things that need to be done on the property. He even tells them, I need you to trim these trees. And it's like an orchard full of trees. It's like, I don't know, an acre or whatever, full of trees. And Patrick was like, that's a lot. And Jose is like, no, it's not. It's not that big of a deal. You know, just a couple of hundred trees, you know, no big deal. So he is serious about having his son do all this work. And so John and Thais are like, no, we're going to put a stop to this. No, this is not happening. So they're like, why do you want your son to do all this work for you? You know, you can go pay people to do this or whatever. And he's like, I don't have any money, you know, and he's my son and I don't have any money. And if he's not going to help me, who's going to help me? And so both Thais and John are like, you know, cut the crap. You know, you want to make it look like you're destitute, you're poor, you're feeble. But you are very well with it and you have a lot of money because you have a lot of properties. So you can have other people do this work. You shouldn't take advantage of your son. And Patrick defends his father. He's like, y'all, this is my dad. He's family. And, you know, I don't mind helping my family. And John says, I don't know why, you know, you want your son to do all this work for you when you weren't even there for him as a father. And I was like, ouch. Oh, John is getting down to the nitty gritty. And Jose was just like, oh, John, you don't know what you're talking about. But I mean, these are some very serious issues. These are some very, I'm not understanding why Patrick is not seeing the fact that his father is. How are you going to charge your son to use your property for your granddaughter's birthday party? Like, who in the world does that? Now, your son is here to see you, to spend time with you, to introduce you to your granddaughter. And the only thing you can talk about is all the work he needs to do for you, all the chores and the hard labor that you want him to do. I mean, that is just awful. And, you know, you kind of like abandoned him when he was still a little boy, but then you want him to break his back to do all this work for you when he's supposed to be on vacation with his family and enjoying himself. No, I'm completely on John and Thais' side about that. That's just wrong. Moving on to Angela and Michael. Okay, so Angela and Michael, it is still the day that Michael had his interview with the immigration. And, you know, he didn't pass or fail because they are still trying to do some investigation. So it's still that day. It's nighttime now, and they're still arguing about it. And what their main issue is, or what Angela's main issue is like, you did not tell me that you had moved your case from one city to the other city. You didn't tell me that. So you're withholding information from me when things are happening. You're not informing me. So I'm looking like Boo Boo the Fool out here because, you know, I'm trying to catch up to what you got going on because you don't want to tell me anything. So that's what they're really arguing about. So she's upset. She gets a taxi. She leaves and she's headed back to her hotel. When she gets to her hotel, she FaceTimes her daughter, Skyla. She tells Skyla, look, you know, I can't believe Michael moved his case from one city to the other. He never told me about it. I'm really upset about that. And now they're doing an investigation. investigation, and it's going to look really suspicious of why he moved his immigration case from one providence to another. So Skyla's like, Mom, he's just using you. He's just a scammer, Mom. You need to come back home, Mom. He's not serious about coming back to America with you, Mom. So Angela's beginning to kind of believe her daughter. Now, I think that, I'm like, first of all, I'm like, Skylar, why don't you tell the truth of why you think Michael is scamming your mom? Because you know that a guy like Michael would not be, like naturally attracted to a woman like Angela. That's the reason why you think he's a scammer. Because you know that a young man at the prime of his life who's looking for a relationship is not going to go for a woman like Angela. He's going to, well, okay, so y'all know where I'm going with this, right? I mean, Skylar, just say that. So that's why I think that he is using her for immigration purposes, because I just don't believe that he is into, not even for the physicality of it. It's not even the physicality of it, y'all. It's just how mean and nasty and abusive she is with him. That's what I'm really trying to say. Maybe in the beginning you can say, okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And when he saw Angela, pre-surgery, he was attracted to that. And he was like, oh my God, this is a beautiful woman, and I really need to be with her. Within 5 minutes of talking to her, he should have known right then and there, this is not going to work. The fact that she's just so horrible to him, he's hanging on because he knows that the end goal is citizenship. That's the only reason why he's hanging on. That's the only reason he is putting up with the abuse that she's inflicting on him. So, Scarlett, just go ahead and say that. So, Michael comes over to her room, and the first thing he does, because he knows he's about to lose his opportunity now, so he apologizes profusely. And he's like, Angela, I just want you to be patient, with the process. And she's like, you know what, Michael, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about it with you. So she's like, just sleep on the couch. And she heads off to the bedroom and tells him, if you need to go use the bathroom in the middle of the night, don't come over here, go pee outside. And he does this. Like, he tolerates this because he knows what the end goal is. He knows what the end goal is. And, it is what it is. She knows what it is, too. Angela knows what it is. That this is really about, this is just a business arrangement. So she knows what it is as well. For her to act like, oh, he's scamming. You knew what it was, girl. Moving on to Ashley and Manuel. So they're at the lawyer's office. And this is because Ashley wants to do a post-nuptial agreement with Manuel. She wants to protect her assets, her money, because, he's so sneaky, he's so secretive about a lot of things going on with his life and his family. She feels like, he doesn't include her in a lot of stuff regarding his family. She feels like, he tries to keep her separate and apart from his family. So she's very suspicious of what's been going on with Manuel. So she wants to protect herself. So initially, Manuel was like, this is wrong. I don't know why we have to do this. I don't know why my own wife wants to protect herself from me. I'm not with her for the money. I'm with her because I love her, blah, blah, blah. So they're sitting in the lawyer's office, and Ashley finds out that though her business is considered separate property, the value that's added during her marriage, the value that's added to her business during the marriage, and I guess the profits that she makes from her business during the marriage can be considered marital property, which means that if anything happened, if they got a divorce, Manuel would be entitled to half of the value of her business. And so that scares her to death. And so she's like, where do I sign? That can't happen. She says, I only want to give him what I want to give him. I want to be in control of what he gets if this marriage is ever dissolved. She doesn't want him to automatically get half of anything. So then they start talking about her debt. And because, I think there's this thing where you are responsible for your spouse's debt, just like you're entitled to their assets. There's also responsibility of their debt. So they ask Ashley, well, how much debt are you in? And she's got $100,000 in student loans, which, in America, that ain't a thing. If you went to college, and especially if you've gotten either more than one degree, or you got subsequent degrees, or you went to a really, 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 highfalutin school, yeah, that's normal. Unfortunately, sadly, that's kind of normal. So now Manuel is like, oh, sign me up for this post-nup because I don't want to be responsible for her debts. And he's like so flabbergasted that she's $100,000 in debt. Yes, that is shocking, but it's student loan debt. You know what I mean? And she's got 3 degrees. So that's like right on par with student loan debt. So, I mean, to me, I really wasn't surprised, but Manuel nearly had a heart attack. So he's like, I don't want to be responsible for that. And why didn't you tell me? So he's ready to sign the post. Now, at first he was against it. Now he's all for it. Ashley tells us that Manuel is the one that is bad with money. I mean, we haven't seen that at all because it's always her giving him money to go send to his family. So I don't know anything about that. So the attorney tells us that when couples come in for post-nuptial agreements, usually there's a bigger issue, there's a bigger underlying issue in the marriage. And a lot of the times a post-nup does kind of lead to a divorce because these people have some serious issues. Manuel says that there was an understanding between him and Ashley that it was expected that she would give money to his family. And now that he knows how much debt that she's in, he doesn't know if he can continue to ask her for money to send over to his family because that's going to put her in more debt. Um, but he knows about her debt. Okay, so yeah, so he's concerned now about asking her for more money. But we see the clip for next week's episode, and he hit her up for money yet again to send over to his family. So her being $100,000 in debt really did not faze him when it came to asking her for money yet again to send to his family. I don't want to talk too much about that until we see next week's episode, but yeah, I'm kind of getting tired of Manuel constantly asking Ashley to send his family money. Like, what if he had never met Ashley? Would his family just, starve to death? Like, what would happen if there was no Ashley in Manuel's life? Moving on to Alexei and Lauren. So this was really, really sad, and yeah, really difficult to watch because it hit home for anybody that's paying attention to the news. um so it's 3 weeks after Lauren's surgery. She's up and about, it seems like, and her recovery is going really great. To tell you the truth about Lauren's surgery, so we see her in the confessionals, right? And her in the confessional is her after surgery, after her recovery, y'all, and I don't see much of a difference. I don't see a big difference at all between pre and post surgery Lauren. I don't see any difference. I don't see a difference in her double chin because I didn't think she even had a double chin. I don't see any difference in her butt. She looks exactly the same. But anyway, let's talk about more important things. So it's a week now since the war started in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas. So that's been going on for about a week. Of course, everybody's very worried about Alexei's family that is still in Israel, which is his mother and his brother. And he FaceTimes his mom, and his mom is like, yes, whenever we hear the sirens go off, we have to go into a bomb shelter. And it is just like sad. It is really sad because I don't know anybody personally that lives there and that's going through this, but watching people that I'm familiar with on television, it kind of makes it hit home just a little bit for me because it's like, wow, I know these people. I don't know them personally, obviously, but I'm familiar with who these people are, and they're going through like some real life issues, and it's really sad. So I just prayers to Alexei and his family, and hopefully everybody there is safe. Moving on to Kobe. Are we there yet? No, not quite. Let's back it up. Let's back it up to Sophie and Rob. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on Sophie and Rob because they're both idiotic. Sophie and Rob. So Rob is working out with his homeboy at the gym. His homeboy came to visit him in Texas. And his homeboy was like, what's really going on between you and your wife? And Rob was like, well, I haven't seen her since, she stormed out of my apartment the other day. So we haven't talked in a while. And so the friend is like, we've been kind of telling you that it seems like Sophie is just with you for a green card because she's not acting like a wife. She's constantly running away from you. Y'all are constantly arguing. This relationship is not working. This marriage is dead in the water. Do you think that she was with you just for a green card? And Rob is like, no, I don't think so. And the friend is like, how could you not see that? Because y'all are a married couple, but y'all haven't been under the same roof. And Lord knows, y'all have been apart more than y'all have been together since y'all have been married. And so Rob is like, no, I don't see Sophie that way. I don't think she would do that to me. I trust her. I love her. We just need to work on our issues. Whatever, Rob. So now Sophie's hanging out with her mom and with her friend Kate. She's staying with her friend Kate yet again. And I'm like, do you pay rent over there, Sophie? Do you pay rent at Kate's apartment? Because you're using up all of her resources. What are you contributing? Because you can't be freeloading off of her. I mean, unless you're in a relationship with her and she's taking care of you. But if it's not that, what are you contributing to Kate's household? So now her mom is over there with her broken leg. Don't really know how I think she got into a car accident. That's why her leg is in a in a brace or something. So they're talking about Sophie and her issues with Rob, and of course, Kay and her mom want her to leave Rob. They want her to break up. They said Rob is not treating you right. He's not a good husband. You need to leave him. And to me, from what I've seen on this show, they both have their faults. Obviously, they do not need to be together. But to me, Sophie's the more annoying one. She's the one that is extremely demanding. I think she's very, very spoiled. She's constantly like, treat me better, treat me good, make me happy, do things for me. And to me, that's is so extremely annoying and immature. But they don't need to be together. I agree with that. Sophie tells him that she doesn't want to, when she's with other people, like with her friends or her mom, she defends her marriage. She defends Rob. But when she's with Rob, she's against him and she's tearing him down. And she's talking about all the areas that he's lacking as a husband. So I don't know what the hell Sophie wants. Let's move on to Kobe and Emily. So they're meeting up. They're going to be meeting up with Kobe's ex. This is a girl that he dated for 7 years before he met Emily. She is Cameroonian or Cameroon. And Emily wanted to meet with her because she wanted to know if Kobe was with her when Kobe got her pregnant in China. That's why she wants to meet with her. I don't understand why. I'm just as confused as Kobe is because like I said, worst case scenario, you find out that yes, Kobe was dating both of y'all at the same damn time. He had his girlfriend in Cameroon. He had you in China. He knocks you up. He was still with his girlfriend in Cameroon. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to divorce him? Or do you just want to fight and argue and belittle him? Like, what is the point of all of this? What is the point of all of this? What are you going to do about it if you're given the worst information possible that he was playing both of y'all? He was with both of y'all. Had you thinking that he's with you, had her thinking that she's with him, that he's with her. What are you going to do? Are you going to divorce him and kick him out of your father's house? I don't understand. I don't understand what the point is of all of this. Why do you want to? Why do you purposely want to look for pain? Why do you want to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be hurt, where you're going to be crying? He told you that it was over with the girl in Cameroon when he met you. So just go with that. Whether it's the truth or not, just go with that. Leave that in the past. Leave that behind you because I don't understand what you plan. Now, if you really are you want to find a reason to divorce him, by all means, meet with the ex. Let the ex tell you what was really going on. And then use that information to leave your husband and to divorce him. If that's what you're really trying to do, then yeah, go for it. So I think it's just useless and it's stupid. And I think Kobe is dumb for even entertaining this. You know what he should have done, in my personal opinion? He should have been like, look, you go find her and you go meet with her. I don't want no parts of that. And then once you have a conversation with her, you come back and tell me what you want to do next. But I'm not wasting my time with that. That's what I would have done. But the fact that he's there, I don't know. But we all know that Kobe, he sips hard for Emily. And that is my review, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it on your way out. Please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Please subscribe to my channel. And I'll definitely talk to you later.